Hey guys, this is Red Kachik with the fantasygolfbag.com, and I am going to be breaking down the final round showdown slate for the PGA Championship. This is August 11th, 2018, so we're on the verge of the final day. Brooks kind of taking the charge today, so people have to chase him down a little bit to take over tomorrow. So as you know, the showdown has a little bit of placement value, but again, we want guys that are scoring. So I popped this sheet into the Slack chat, and I'll go over it real fast just so that there's no confusion. And, of course, I'll be around to answer any questions if there are any. But, yeah, real quick. So first column, we got player name, pretty self-explanatory. We have position and score. That's their current position and current score for the tournament. DK salary, that is their DK salary for the showdown slate. Their round 4 scoring average and round 4 rank. So this is their round 4 scoring average for all the tournaments on the PGA Tour. And keep in mind that the British Open is considered a PGA Tour event, even though we don't have Shot Tracker. So, like if you look at the lowest rounds, you'll see guys like Terrell Hatton, Eddie Pepperell, which had a really low round at the British Open. So keep that in mind when you're viewing this. I didn't list sample size, but definitely consider that. So you'll see the round 4 rank kind of correlates with that as well. The round 4 position drift or difference, it's essentially a drift. We got guys that are going to be moving up, or moving down the leaderboard. Negatives are better. So, like Brooks Koepka has some really solid final rounds from round 4 positions. So basically that means in his round 3 position, what his score in round 4 brought him to was he was averaging less than losing 6 positions. So whether that's 10th to 3rd or 20th to 13th, that's his average round 4 position differential. And you'll see guys in at the bottom that are lesser known guys that have had slightly poor, like Kevin Kisner. Obviously, a little bit of a poor finish at the British Open kind of hurts that round as well, or that stat. So then we got birdies, eagles, pars, bogeys. Those are the averages for each round. So let me resort this on DK salary real quick. So like Dustin and Brooks are up here at the top. They're very similar actually in birdies, eagles, pars, and bogeys for the round 4 stats this year. Tee to green, off the tee, approach, and strokes gained around the green. So those are the strokes gained stats for round 4 scoring only. Of course, if you're looking at total stats, that's definitely valuable, but sometimes you'll see a slight difference with someone's stats throughout a tournament or throughout the year. But then if you hone in on one particular round, especially round 4, because there's more on the line, round 1 and 2 can be skewed a little bit. But you get a good feel for round 4 stats. But yeah, let's jump into it. So, in my opinion, there's going to be some placement spots that are going to go to someone moving inside the top 10. So when you're kind of going down the salaries, and most of them aren't too bad to fit in. You can definitely find some value down low. Like Daniel Berger, I liked a lot. His stats on the last couple of days have been really solid. So he'll be someone at 6,800. I'll probably take a good bit of. JJ Spahn's been playing pretty solid as well. Not great today. But yeah, we'll kind of go down this list real quick, and I'll definitely be around later in Slack to answer any questions. But so up top, obviously, you're going to have to make a choice. I think I'm going to go Dustin. His round 4 scoring average shows it's a half a stroke higher than Brooks. But I think people are going to go to Brooks. He's already in first place. They'll think they need those points. In my opinion, I think Dustin is in for a big round tomorrow. His round today was really disappointing, and he's as streaky as they come as far as making a bunch of birdies. So I think he comes out tomorrow and basically doesn't care about finishing high. He just wants to try to win. So he's either going to go boom or bust tomorrow. So Dustin, for those of you that are playing like the FGWC or any big GPPs, I think he's the play over Brooks. Going down this list, I think Ricky will be probably pretty popular. And I got my other screen up with some stats. So let me pull it up real fast. Just looking at event averages for the week, and so Justin Thomas is averaging just over 2.5 strokes tee to green. So he was one I played today, and I still like that play. His final round scoring averages are really good. So definitely, even look at his strokes gained stats. So really like Justin Thomas in this position. Gary Woodland I'll likely avoid, just too expensive. Jason Day, I'm going to peek at his stats over here real quick. So for the tournament, he's averaging just over 2 strokes gained tee to green. But if you look at today's stats, he lost a stroke and a half on approach. So, you can kind of chalk that up. He's one that if I was building a bunch of lineups, I would definitely have some of, because he's one that can go out and shoot 6 under par, and if Brooks doesn't play great, he can win this tournament. So we'll go down a little bit further. Though some of the tougher decisions I had recently, kind of between Jon Rahm, Francesco, and Patrick Cantlay, and now Jordan Spieth kind of snuck in there for a good while today. But if you look at like Francesco versus Patrick Cantlay, you can see there's a little bit of a discrepancy with Francesco's strokes gained approach off the tee. They're pretty similar. So you could definitely give the nod to Francesco for the final round scoring. So if you are in that situation, plus he's got a little bit of a 2-shot lead that'll help his placement points for tomorrow going into the day. Justin Rose is always in play, very solid final round scoring. Stats are almost in line with his full year stats, so really can't argue with an $8,400 price tag. Rory, I'm a little scared of. I think Fleetwood's an okay play. He's got a really good final round scoring average. So that one's pretty solid. If you go down a little bit further, there's some guys that are in position that I think that'll basically go in everyone's lineup. And so I would caution you to avoid that. One of those is Stuart Sink. At 7,500, I think a lot of people will see him inside the top 10 and try to fit him in just so they can save some value so they can get some of these more expensive guys. And his final round scoring average just isn't that great. So if you can look at Stuart Sink is at just over 70. He's 34th in, I think there's 77 people, so not great. And overall, his round 4 scoring is just not as good as you would want, especially if you're already inside the top 10. So going down further, we'll say, let's see here. Joaquin Niemann has a really good scoring average, but I looked at his stats this week, and they've been trending the wrong way. So, he's very talented. He could definitely turn around overnight, basically. But that's one I would also avoid. He's pretty far back. It would be mainly scoring that you would want, so I will probably avoid that. Tyrrell Hatton's interesting, to be honest. I think this number is a little skewed because his sample size is pretty small, but he's a guy that's very streaky. If you look at his stats for this tournament, he's slightly gaining. Sorry, that was today. He was slightly better than the field. Strokes gained tee to green, and for the tournament, he's gaining almost 2 shots tee to green. So not awful. But yeah, he's a decent value. Like I said, Daniel Berger's definitely in play. Eddie Pepperell, I don't think is one you should go to. I don't know if he'll be that popular, but just be cautious of that scoring average because it's mostly off of that the round he shot at the British Open. Charles Howell, I honestly don't know why he has a 66 stroke or 66 final round scoring average. I would avoid that. And then that's pretty much it. You definitely can look for guys that are near the top 20 down here. Ches Reavie. I think Sung-Soo Han has some potential, but again is very risky. And then Ted Potter's interesting at 6,300. It's just very cheap, and he's overall played pretty solid this week. So definitely use this spreadsheet to help you out. Use any of these other stats you can find that kind of tell you how they're playing this week. You can definitely see trends. Obviously, Gary Woodland, you could see a trend kind of going the wrong way today. So you can take what you want as far as contrarian for tomorrow. Obviously, if you took, Gary Woodland, not many people will take Gary Woodland. They'd rather just pay up for Justin, Ricky, Brooks, or Dustin. So keep that in mind when you're building your lineups. Again, you want the placement, so try to build it towards the top. But again, there's guys that are going to come from the back. Adam Scott and Tony Finau, I forgot to mention them. So this middle tier here, right around 78 to 8,000. I think Adam Scott's a very solid play. He's always consistent tee to green. So definitely don't be afraid of that. You can see his stats kind of line up with a lot of the guys at the top of the leaderboard, or at least in their stat categories. So I think Adam Scott's a good salary saver, and Webb Simpson is pretty solid. So those guys right around 8,000 is probably going to make or break your day tomorrow, depending on how many lineups you do. So definitely be cautious there. And yeah, with that, I will leave it to y'all to go build your lineups. Good luck tomorrow. Let's try to grab one more FGWC seat. We'll kill it this next week, and then yeah, the Fantasy Golf World Championships is right around the corner. So good luck tomorrow, guys. Rooting for you all, and go take down something big. We'll see you later.